a lot of artists deal with that, and we got to take care of each other.
There is one thing that almost made Lady Gaga quit her music career, and it could be the reason why you can't finish tracks. I'm talking about burnout. So, in this video, you will learn why burnout nearly ended Lady Gaga's career, what musicians can learn from Cristiano Ronaldo to stay at their peak. And if you stay till the end of the video, I will give you the golden rule that will keep you from ever burning out, plus 2 ways to apply it into your daily routine. But first, how can burnout prevent you from finishing tracks? Have you ever had one of those days in the studio where everything just flows and your track comes together perfectly? Then the next day, you're still making progress, but it doesn't feel as smooth. Time goes on, the days flow by, you keep pushing hard until eventually you hit a wall. What felt easy before now feels like a struggle, and it seems like you just don't enjoy making music anymore. That's the first sign of burnout, when you don't enjoy things you usually do. But it can affect much more than just your ability to finish tracks. It actually almost made me quit making music, and obviously Lady Gaga as well. So in 2017, Lady Gaga was at the peak of her career. She had just released a new album, Joanne, performed at the Super Bowl, and was constantly touring, recording, and working on new projects. But behind the scene, she was struggling.
So proud to be a part of a movie that addresses mental health issues. They're so important. And a lot of artists deal with that, and we got to take care of each other.
She actually had to cancel part of her Joanne tour because her body simply couldn't take it anymore. This is obviously an extreme example, but as a music producer that is just starting, you might have some deadlines, you might want to say yes to every opportunity, and there is a pressure to constantly release music. And if you're not careful, what happened to Lady Gaga can also happen to you. So what can we do about it? Well, the solution is simple. Think about it like this. If you work out in the gym and never take rest, you will get injured. In 2014, Cristiano Ronaldo faced a knee injury, but he continued playing despite the pain. The World Cup was approaching and he wanted to stay fit at all costs. He later realized that recovery was as crucial as training. And today, Ronaldo is known for his insane work ethic and recovery practices. And as music producers, you need to think as an athlete. We need to think the same way about our minds. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more tired you get. You might not notice it at first, but over time, your ideas won't flow as easily, your mixes will feel like a struggle, and even opening your door will start to feel exhausting. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't wait until he was broken to start recovering. He made recovery part of his process so he can keep performing at his best. And that's exactly how we should treat our creative minds. But the question is, how? You just need to follow this rule. The longer and more difficult the task, the longer the rest you need. And here are 2 ways you can implement this rule into your daily routine. So I remember years ago when I worked as a PT in the gym, I had to wake up twice a week at 5:40 a.m. On those days, I always felt exhausted. It was because I didn't focus on getting enough sleep. Sleep plays a big role in overall health and cognitive function, which basically means that when you work on music, you will be much more creative and productive. So here are 3 things you can do to get a much higher quality of sleep. Your body has an internal 24-hour clock which controls the sleep-awake cycle. It's called the circadian rhythm. It controls hormone release and body temperature, so inconsistent sleep cycle can disrupt that rhythm, making it harder to stay asleep. So the first thing you need to do is go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. And yes, even on weekends. In the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, which I highly recommend you read, the emphasis is on getting sufficient amount of bedtime. And that is to ensure we complete all the necessary sleep cycles for full recovery, optimal body and brain function. Most people need about 8 hours of sleep, so make sure to get 9 hours of bedtime. Last week, my partner was working a night shift, so my evening routine was a little different than usual. I found myself watching YouTube videos in the evening and then scrolled on my phone before going to sleep. It took me a lot longer to fall asleep, and the next day I didn't feel as rested. So think again about our circadian rhythm, the 24-hour internal clock that controls the sleep-awake cycle. Exposure to light suppresses the release of melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and darkness does the opposite, which makes you feel sleepy. Artificial light tricks the brain to think it's daytime. And even small amounts of light can keep the brain awake and reduce the REM sleep cycle, which is essential for memory and emotional processing. So, just avoid using screens in the evening. It's that simple. The next technique is related to short-term recovery, but it is also a great productivity hack for music producers, as it will help you to complete your tasks much quicker. So remember this: short tasks require short breaks. In the late 1980s, a university student from Italy was struggling with his studies. So, to improve his productivity, he used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer to break his work into short intervals. This is how he did it. He set a timer for 25 minutes, worked on his task, in your case, working on music, till the timer goes off. Then he will take a short break of just 5 minutes. I like to have a stretch or go eat a fruit. Usually I repeat the cycle about 4 times. Now, why do I do that for 4 times? Because I know that if I do this cycle for 4 times, that is the time it takes me to create a good kick and bass, a good bass line. And because I've done it so many times, I also know that that is the time it takes me to create a good snare, a good hat, and a good percussion loop. So if you use this technique, you're not just going to be more productive, but you can manage your time much more efficiently. But even with all of those techniques to avoid burnout, there is one mistake I see music producers do all the time, and it can be wrecking your progress as a music producer. So go watch that video to find out what it is and how to fix it.